Hello, my name is Monica Hanna. The title of my project, Lefty Hefty, Righty Mighty, means that both left and right-handed people are equal. In many parts of the world, it's common practice to force people to eat and write with the right hand, because that was known as the proper way. Even the word right means correct or good. So therefore, hefty and mighty both mean powerful. So no matter if you're left or right-handed, you shouldn't be ashamed at God's creation, because God created each one of us in a unique way. I chose to do this project because I was very interested in knowing whether the left and right brain theory was correct or not, because many people made mention of it, but I've never actually researched it. I was also very interested to see if handedness affects what side you use for sports and different tasks, especially that I'm left-handed, so it would have been very interesting to find this out. The purpose of my experiment is to determine whether people have a sidedness of their brain and to see whether the left brain controls the right side of your body and vice versa. It is also to see if there's a connection between the side the participants use for sports and the side they use for different tasks. I've asked the participants to use the chart I have prepared for them to record the observations and prepare the materials they needed in order to do the experiment. Then I asked the participants to write their name on a lined piece of paper and record which side of the body they use for a variety of different tasks and sports. I found that there's no difference between the different tasks and the sports performed, and that it's untrue that the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body and vice versa. Being left or right-handed does not affect which side of the brain a person uses, and it's untrue that left-handed people are right-brained and vice versa. Both sides of the brain equally work together when a task is being performed. All the results were scattered and didn't have a defined pattern, but the majority of the people used the right side of their body to complete most of the sports and the different tasks, regardless if they were left or right-handed. In total, there were 21 participants in my experiment. For the different tasks part, 11 people out of the total number of participants were right-handed. 10 people used their right eye, which is 47.6%. 15 people used their right foot, which is 71.4%. And 11 people used their right ear, which is 52.4%. Meanwhile, 10 people were left-handed out of the total number of participants, which were 21. 11 people used their left eye, which was 52.4%. 6 people used their left foot, 28.6%, and 10 people used their left ear, 47.6%. For the sports part, 18 people out of the total number of participants used their right feet for playing soccer, which is 85.7%. 13 people used their right hand for throwing a ball, which is 61.9%. And 12 people used their right hand to hold a stick while playing hockey, which is 57.1%. In the meantime, only 3 people used their left feet to play soccer, which is 14.3%, 8 people used their left hand to throw a ball, which is 38.1%, and 9 people used the left hand to play hockey, which is 42.9%. My research could be very important in the real world, especially in counseling, where counselors have the ability to think and guide people in a direct manner, which requires the skill to motivate and inspire people. Counselors often ask their clients to express their feelings, be aware of body sensations, and visualize. The brain gives us the sense of being connected and expressing emotions to one another. It can also be important, especially with graphic designers, interior designers, and theater. All of those fields and jobs require vision, creativity, logic, and imagination. These are all characteristics of the left and right brain, just as both sides of the brain work together. It is important for parents to encourage their children to use their dominant hand early on. Those who are left-handed shouldn't be forced to do activities with their right hand, as many cultures have been doing. The most difficult part of my project was to find left-handed people. Based on research I have done, about 90% of the people of this world are right-handed, which leaves only 10% to be left-handed, so it was difficult to find lefties. So there can be an equal amount of people in my experiment, left and right-handed people. I solved this problem by asking my parents if they know any of their friends or colleagues at work maybe that are left-handed, and by asking people outside of school, like church friends and other friends, so there could be more variety, and it did thankfully work. The future research that could be done on left and right brain dominance could be about when your brain is fully developed and if there's bacteria in it or not. If there is bacteria, I would research if it's unhealthy or healthy bacteria. I would also want to research if there's the same amount of neurons on your left brain and your right brain, or are they both wired differently? Therefore, there will be a lot of research left to do on the left and right brain. I used the scientific method in my project. First, I asked the question, which was, does your dominant hand correlate with one side of your brain? Then I formed a hypothesis, which stated that I thought it did correlate with one side of the brain. I conducted my experiment and recorded the results. I then did my conclusion, which was that there is no obvious correlation between being left or right-handed and performing the different tasks and sports performed using a specific side of your body. And now I'm sharing my results. Thank you so much for listening.